What's up, guys? Let's talk about Nvidia. So many of you have been asking me to cover this, and we have a lot to go over. I want to talk about the weekly chart. We're going to talk about my $700 target, which we're coming up on. I actually want to go over why I bought calls today on Nvidia. We're going to go over that trade, and I want to share with you guys my trading bot that I built. I built this thing years ago, but I want to show you how it has performed on Nvidia in the past couple of months, and not just to be like, oh, look at how great this thing has been, but more so to explain to you guys why you need to be trading what is in front of you instead of what you think you should be doing. There are so many people who have missed out on insane rallies such as Nvidia, and of course we're going to hit a top. That's just going to happen. But there's so many people out there who have missed out on great opportunities just because they think that something is overvalued. And I'm not saying that you should be the individual who's going to go around and buying every single overvalued company that there is out there. But what you have to understand is that when a trend is strong, when we are pushing, even if it's greedy or not, you need to be following what's directly in front of you. And so let's start first just by looking at this trading bot, because I want to explain to you why you need to be looking at a very clear system. Not even if it's my system, but if it's just a system in general. Now, if you guys do want access to this trading bot, it's going to be the first Discord link in the description for $5 a month. And if you want access to all of my trades and all 50 of the trading bots, you guys can go and check it out with the second link in the description. And I actually have this fully automated, which I will do a video showing you guys how I built this into a fully automated ETF that's going to be right here. So let's start first with just looking at price action and looking at this trading bot. So in the past month, we're just going to come down here and look at how things have been. We'll do January 1st, 2024 until right now. At this point, you're going to see in the past 34 days, our trading bot is up 33.6%, while the asset performance is up 39%. Now, the only thing that we're looking at, guys, for entry requirements here is for price to close over the 11 SMA and price to close over the 50 SMA. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing proprietary. We're just trading something that is in a very significant and strong uptrend. Will we eventually catch the top? Of course we will. But it's all about picking up all of those wins on the way while we're banking and eventually take that one loss. So like we said, 94% success rate with 93% success rate with only a 7% losing rate. And what I'm trying to explain to you guys is that if you're watching something like this, that's just, the beginning of the back testing here in December, at this point, you would have thought to yourself, there's no way that Nvidia can continue to go up. We are up so much in the past couple of months and in the past year that it cannot continue to go up. And yet, here we are. So I show you this not to say, hey, you should follow this and this is always going to be the best, but I have created this because when I look at Nvidia on a weekly time frame like this, whether I think the company's short-term or long-term undervalued, this is crazy. I wouldn't normally want to be buying into something like this, and with earnings coming up. So that's why I like to use a very strategic and very simple system that I can just use across the board. Now, let's talk about the setup I made earlier on Nvidia and why I ended up entering long. So 7 hours ago, I posted on X that I was going to grab calls on Nvidia, and this was the chart setup. So we're going to go through and we're going to look at the 1 hour time frame. Actually, I'm sorry, I was trading on a 30-minute time frame. And we're going to see why I ended up entering this position. We had this resistance level on Friday of about 665.52. Now, the thing that I want you to understand is that when a stock is hitting an all-time high, there's no resistance. Like, we're sitting in no man's land, we're sitting in Greedville, and we're just pushing our way up into outer space. So when you're looking at something like Nvidia, price targets are arbitrary. Like, we don't have old resistances, there's no order blocks in place. We're kind of moving along and just, hoping for the best, really. I mean, I've done this for 9 years, but in this instance, like, you're just gonna hope everyone's gonna continue to buy into the hype and continue to push it up. But on Friday, we had this resistance point, we have this break of structure, big gap up today on, I believe that they got another buy rating from analysts, which is even crazy when we're sitting up at these 690 levels. And then we saw this initial pullback. So my planned stop loss was sitting here at $665 because that old resistance should be a good support. And if that support's broken, well, we're probably going to come down, fill the gap at about $633. So I entered right here on this pullback around 676, and then I watched as we continued to push up, and I took my profits around $680. Now, I still think that we can see this continue to run. I think that we could probably see this push back up to $700. But the reason that I took profits is because I was up so much. I had weekly options and I was up $4,800. And the fact is, when you're trading with options, your risk gets really fucky really quick. Because if you're trading with shares and you're up, stock moves 5-10%, and you're in with 10 grand, now you have $10,200 overall to your fund. It's not out of whack. But if you have $5,000 in calls, even $1,000 in calls with a $10,000 portfolio, if you're up 50, 60, 70%, that $1,000 position is now a $1,600 position, which means that if you're using proper risk management, your allocation size across the fund is all messed up. So if you guys want to learn how to do that and how to think like a fund manager, I do have that ETF video that I posted in the beginning. You should definitely watch that and definitely look at all of our Discord community content, because we go over a lot of that over there. And while the channel's called Traders Helping Traders, I like to think of it as a portfolio manager, and that you guys all really do run your own fund. So what would I be doing with Nvidia right now, like long term? Honestly, I would not be buying it long term. Just from an objective standpoint, I need to be buying companies that I believe in long term, which I do believe in Nvidia long term, but I need to be buying companies that are undervalued. For me to be putting my capital here at this point, it's just not worth it. I'll trade it. I'll eventually probably get trapped at the top for a small loss, but I'm not going to be putting money into this long term. If you guys want, you can put in the comment section. I can do a valuation video where we actually go over Nvidia and I give price targets and reasons as to why I think it's worth that. But I wouldn't be getting into this long term. I would definitely be starting to sell some of my positions. If I had, like, let's say somebody who was buying in sub 300, I'd be out of my position with about like 80%. I'd still maybe have some just riding that wave, but I would definitely be taking, especially if you got in over a year ago and you got short-term capital gains. It's not financial advice, but for me, that's the big thing. I was holding, I Meta down at like 111. I got Meta near the bottom, and I reposted that recently here on X. But I was waiting for the full year, so I didn't have to pay long-term capital gains. So I started going through and taking most of my stuff off the table for that, a couple of weeks before earnings, and then I just sold the last of that, days ago after this insane earnings pump. But let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. Let me know any other tickers you want me to go through, and if you want me to do a fundamental video on Nvidia, I can definitely do that. Thanks for all the support, guys. Peace.